don't like him like that. Like, I don't like things that he would do and make me uncomfortable.
So speaking of...
With Diageo, this
is grape vodka as well?
Because you are rich.
Is it grape?
No. Puffs is not even vodka. It's grapes.
No, I'm just saying to you, look.
You always say Jackson like, that's why you get invited to Puff Party. There's no reason.
Listen.
He says Puff makes him uncomfortable. He breaks the myth on CîROC with one jab. It's grapes. And then he smirks about parties that only make the rumors louder. Tonight, we run the mogul war in 50's own words. Where the bad blood started, how the vodka war flipped, why the jokes hit like business moves.
He says he feels uncomfortable around Puff. He breaks the myth about CîROC with a single jab. Then he smirks at gatherings that just make the rumors more intense. Tonight, we're running the mogul war in 1950s terms. How the vodka war went upside down, where the hostility started. Why the jokes hit like business moves, and how a lawyer's declaration made everything clear. Tea in a hurry. We're getting close to this senior versus effing receipts. He doesn't take a careful approach. He just says it. There's also a line with Puff. It's just an emotion, not a Twitter quarrel or a fake conflict. Despite the fact that I haven't had any issues with Puff, people believe I am unlikable. Dislike him like that? For instance, when he does anything correctly, I don't enjoy it. Things make me uneasy. In relation to that, the performance of that delivery is lacking. It's a boundary without a shout. When you hear him trace it back, you realize it's not about a single headline. It has to do with where their lanes meet and how energy moves from work to play. This is also my origin, as is Puffy _. He doesn't elaborate on the cause. Before he looks at the money, he waits for the time to pass. Because of this, you can tell that this isn't fan gossip. It's called business mechanics. He doesn't gloat or rush to the news mill when the audience erupts during another interview. Saying, "I thought Sack was Diddy's," corrects the premise in a bland, almost bored tone.
Yeah, I thought CîROC was Diddy's.
Yeah,
Same here.
Well, he was getting paid a lot of money, babe. Like that.
That matters because perception is currency in this fight. The public sense of ownership is one type of power. If the reality is a partnership with the large, then the game and the leverage are different. By 50, dirt isn't being created. In addition to teasing the brand story and watching the balloon collapse, he is not behaving like a monk in the temple of purity. He smiles mischievously as he frames the riffs home. It's both personal and professional. The optics can occasionally produce the heat, an invitation, a flyer, or a laugh that is more powerful than a caption. The Breakfast Club line about the parties works so well because he appears to understand the joke but is still refusing to comply. I'm just saying that's why you were invited to the Puff Party. Reading. Listen carefully. The framework is established in Chapter 1, Puff. The second is a practical assessment of the concept of SRA. The third is a public character dance, where the jokes are used as weapons instead of decorations. We'll get a subsequent reference to the receipts is caustic and amusing, giving the impression that the brand conflict began as a schoolyard altercation that developed into a quarterly report. In under 30 seconds, the vodka dispute goes from whispers to receipts. This isn't SRK. Thus, the audience is aware of what he is serving and rock lads are more informed. When the mics are on and the bottles are visible, he doesn't mince words. It's difficult to tell the difference between business and trolling. Each move is the same. He keeps his tone light, almost playful, while he makes his point. We have no surroundings here. That 2-second chuckle is more than just a paragraph. This isn't a lawsuit brief. This is a check for Vogue. Then he pulls the knife knot with an essay with a shift in association that is obvious to all in the room. The Rock Boys have vanished. They're after you. He's not reading you a contract. He is transforming the mantra. The battle of branding includes everything from jokes to subtitles to what you put on camera. Later in another set, he goes into even greater detail about the optics.
Strictly, effing vodka.
It's petty in the way that only effective branding can be. There is no complexity in the language. There is no reason for them to be. The room is cognizant of conflicting opinions. The crowd understands switches. And when he dispels the mystery of the second bottle, Puff is with the grapes. It serves as a joke as well as a business lesson.
Vodka as well?
Because you a rich.
Is it great?
No. Puffs is not even vodka.
Now added to the last adjustment, he was getting paid a good wage, a large amount of money. The image gets clearer. Puff's strength is real. The 50s point is its constructed power. The kind you can needle if you know where the seams are.
I thought CîROC was Diddy's. Yeah,
Same here.
Well, he was getting paid a lot of money, babe.
It stays true to its premise. This chapter is excellent. He doesn't deliver lectures. He's behaving like an idiot. And the clowning conveys the message. This isn't an SRA. No, sack boys. Effing rigorously. Without a press announcement, you were aware of what was happening. You needed a chuckle as well as a logo. However, the hilarity stops when the lawyers show up. In a few minutes, he will decipher a sentence. A lawyer wrote the point at which public relations turned into open warfare. He continues. He accomplishes more than just needling a brand. He needles a character. The parties that disseminate rumors faster than news releases, the enigmatic velvet rope, and the mogul persona. He applies pressure there. But notice how he pushes. He lets the room say the wild part. Then, he walks it back to control the tone.
You continuously call Puff gay. Does that affect your relationships in Hollywood?
I don't call.
This exchange is classic. The host packs the world with fuel. He picks up the contest. He will not be entitled to a label that serves as a diversion from legal proceedings. He will keep it to humor and discomfort. The same apprehension he had expressed earlier. It's not prudishness, it's positioning. Make sure the jokes are kept out of the attorney's reach and that the humor serves as the message. The next step is the theater. Details about that same run are included in the table, which explains why the topic is consistently well-liked. It's humorous, memorable, and ideal for memes. It was designed for the timing, whether you agree with it or not.
All now left under leadership of Puffy Daddy. Report to the nearest range.
Because of lines like that. Perception moves faster than facts. When one great moment is reduced to 100 captions, a mogul competition becomes akin to a cultural war. He can participate without yelling. He just has to choose which moments other people will share. His ego play is subtle in this way. Use comedy as a scalpel rather than a sledgehammer. A public jab that seems to be a joke is less costly than a public charge that sounds like a message. If the scoreboard is the base, the greatest strategy is to keep the base entertained while you poke holes in the competitor's aura. Laughing is not an escape. This strategy has already shown itself to be successful. See how he always brings the conversation back to the topic at hand? Even when the crowd demands scandal and the atmosphere of ownership gets too heavy, he still pricks the room with a 6-word fact. When the bottle fights start to sound like blood feuds, he sends it back to distribution and makes sure. He isn't trying to win an HR lecture. He is affecting how the general people view the real authority. Of course, there is a risk involved in this tactic. If you play too close to the line, the optics can work against you. For this reason, he keeps a governor on the language. Allow the host to skate toward the cliff. He can divert, shrug, or make a more muted statement as the panel gets more intense. The result is the same. Instead of writing a remark that will appear on a court docket, he provides the audience with a video clip that bolsters his claim that the other side is more image than substance. The following equipment is thus assembled. When jokes are not enough, statements are made. When lawyers are forced to turn brand damage into paragraphs, he can hear the tone shift. Even without the letterhead, he can determine who penned the text. The use of combative language and the promise made in a sentence are clues as to how someone will respond to this. It's not a buffer for PR. That is a courtroom flex disguised as PR. In the following part, he details that exact moment. He learned that the mogul dispute had shifted from the party to the courts, from the lawyer's written declaration and the justifications for it. He can immediately tell when the language is getting more difficult. He doesn't look for drama. Therefore, tone is data. Publicists smooth things out. Lawyers polish them. As a result, when a statement is made with teeth, it targets invisible adversaries and threatens consequences. Instead of seeing it as a caption, he sees it as a contract. Interviews
Like that was calculated.
That was, yeah, that the statement is something from, you can tell it's written by a lawyer. There's a point where it kind of gets aggressive. He's like, he says, like, you're gonna find out, like how I'll handle this. Like, and that's an attorney want to be combative with another attorney. That's not like the publicist would say.
That is the key to this chapter. Just one clip will help you understand the difference between PR and legal. To protect perception, a publicist speaks softly and with hope for the future. A lawyer defends their position with threats and precedent. As soon as the voice changes, the game does too. Jokes become exhibits. Memes become evidence of miscommunication. A little brand offense is also reframed as injury. Without identifying the target of this, he makes his point. In a mogul competition this clear, connections can be made by anyone in the room faster than a subpoena. His indication of the escalation is crucial. So far, the war has been profitable. Memes sold bottles, tension, and seats, and each stunt taught the audience a lesson about endorsement versus ownership. The issue changes from who is funnier to who can afford to appear aggressive on paper when the legal voice enters the picture. And here's the tell. He doesn't panic when the lawyer's tone is activated. He catalogs it. He deciphers the bark. He respects only one penny, and you will learn how I handle it. What was its motion? Has his base been moved? Has it altered his doubts? Did this impact the market? If the answer is no, the legal letter is just another relic. The show goes on. The scoreboard doesn't change. He is also conscious of the heightened risks. Legal terms elicit legal responses. It has the ability to make every casual comment into a deposition, freeze partnerships, and frost sponsors. This causes his approach to bend without breaking. To go back to the bigger picture, be prepared with the facts, maintain the comedy, and make the other side look bad while you still seem productive. In this billionaire war, he prefers marketing antics to legal scuffles, since they convert attention into purchases. If you can make them laugh and find out that grapes are their favorite bottle, you've just reprogrammed the brand story for free. If you can move seats in a club such that all the rum is pouring under a different label, you've turned inventory into messaging. Consider his careful language. That term is important. It suggests that he is not reacting to the message on an emotional level. He's diagnosing it. An angry letter is not a well-written letter. What it is a strategy tree. Talking points, escalation channels, and attitude were eventually determined by a brand team and a legal team. He reads it, then decides which lane to stay in so as not to give them the case they are building. As a result, he will simplify the play to its most fundamental components. In essence, he will remark, if it's a lawyer speaking, then it's not about truth or clout. It is related to leverage. Moreover, leverage is not employed. It is negotiated. He keeps performing as long as leverage keeps converting. Stages, interviews, and product moments. The message may seem loud on paper. He will be louder in the chamber of importance. For a readership accustomed to years of headlines, this is the twist. The person who is calmer tends to come across as more reliable. A joke told with a smirk and a letter written with a frown will often win the middle ground. In the mogul lane, winning the center is essential. There are casual buyers. He appeals to them by speaking in a human voice and making his moves clear. Even when the resistance appears technical and possibly dangerous, we then go over the power struggles, the stunts that move from joke to market share, and why trolling in the 50s is often a profitable business strategy that has a quarterly impact. He challenges more than just brand realities. He makes bending motions. Sometimes the play is as basic as a prop, a bottle in frame, or a wink that totally alters the plot without a single paragraph of public relations. I had a hunk in the bag bottle that came with it. That's how the story unfolds. With just one background placement, everyone can know who is in charge of the evening. To combat those optics, he employs counter-optics. Not rage, not a press release, not a shift of perspective. Puffy had been gassing it. Gassing it is the best option. No conspiracy exists. It's a balloon. And balloons pop more readily when you bring laughter instead of wrath. As a result, the host's explanation of his strategy seems less like meat and more like marketing. Done with a nasty right hand.
Just on, wax. Your beef aren't just on record. Like, you know how to take yours to social media. You buying tickets.
He is different because he views every surface as a billboard. The views of the crowd, the editing, the captions, and even a brief scene in the backdrop with a hookah and bottle. The antics have a purpose. They teach us who is in charge of the narrative. If your opponent's mystique is air, you change the atmosphere rather than hitting it air. This is the reason for the land-like method of the jokes. 1,000 posts are created from a strong line. A small switch on the camera turns into a meme. And if everyone is on board, the misperception is less likely to spread without a single lawyer being involved. He is doing it correctly when he first lets the audience chuckle before drawing the connection. It also explains why the tone stays the same even when the stakes are great. Are raised when he sees an invitation list, a flyer, or a bottle move, he can shrug and gasp. If the audience notices a shiny narrative, he reveals the nozzle. If he recognizes the optics that led to your feelings and the audience feels a sense of ownership, the training is effective. But when circumstances change, people also do. The splash zone attracts entire crews, associates, and allies. Next is the collateral. Who gets a name, who gets moved, and how the story incorporates the orbit around Puff. As the mogul battle gets more intense, names start to flash around the orbit. He does not have to deliver a manifesto. The following short sentences demonstrate how affiliations can lead to conflict.
Because really, Frenchie's the DVD.
It's not just about brand versus brand. It includes platforms, old film, who sent it, where, and what was recorded. He doesn't use any tricks, receipts, or rumors when presenting it. In fact, they recorded it in French. In those few lines, the reasons behind the slant of some links are described. History, not a specific party or a caption, is to blame. When the tape is used as a weapon, the people who handled it, whether they asked for it or not, become implicated in the war. Furthermore, the ally chat isn't necessarily about friendship. Acceptance is essential. You are proving who you validate on your platform by standing next to them. This is due to his recognition of French as an artist. The invisible economy lies beneath all the jokes. Acceptance is currency. A cosign can be used to build a myth. A pullback can deflate it for you. In a world where power is determined by looks, a stock ticker is the connection between two names. Everything culminates in Puff's orbit. His name is heard through these stories because association improves optics. A bottle turns into a myth of possession at a hookah table. A platform relocation leads to a beef. When the footage changes hands, the recipients, whether they wanted a role or not, become players in the narrative. As a result, the collateral is not just shouting, it's a diagram. If you trace the origins of any controversy or meme back to the individual who recorded it, shared it, and accepted it, you can understand why various identities keep emerging. Those maps don't have him shouting at them. As he sprinkles crumbs, he's letting you set the limits. Last are gear, politics, and optics. When campaigns start, who comes close? And what does getting close actually mean? In a single line, he nails the border that many fans miss. He is straightforward about the difference between proximity and control. As with vodka, being near the power does not mean controlling it. Interview?
Rock the vote. Like Puff would get next to the campaign, but not actually running the campaign.
A ring of decoders makes up the sentence. 100 posters and photo opportunities are described. Keep your distance from the flag, convey a sense of inevitable outcome, and let the audience lead. Then he switches the light on. Next to it is the not in charge. He draws attention to the same branding tactic. A bottle in the frame, a rumor in the air. In the same way, he punctuates the aura with a short statement. Additionally, he extends the logic beyond politics. Because the myth is part of the power battle. He will dispute it even though it may come across as harsh. Even though the public likes a story about a single genius interview.
It wouldn't exist because he didn't write that.
This is not an academic essay. It is an optical adjustment. If a story elevates a titan for labor that began there, then that spot deserves light. Determine the group. Keep the brand and the product separate. As soon as the viewer sees 2 columns instead of 1, the myth and the power it offers are diminished. Consequently, the campaign rule and the bottle rule reflect the party rule. Proximity is not the same as power. If you understand optics well, you can tell the difference between the two. If you're not, he'll keep teaching, with short, sharp lines that change the thoughts and feelings of an audience. Every robbery ends the same way the war does, in his opinion. Not a decision, but a measure. Which one? The only one that ever mattered was in his mouth. You can count the jokes, flyers, parties, bottles, and even legal letters. There'll be another count from him. Who shows up? It doesn't sound panicky because of this. Even if the language is made legal, the verdict remains the cornerstone. If individuals keep buying tickets, telling the jokes, and watching the optics flipped in real time, but nothing changed where it mattered. That is the foundation of the mogul struggle. He rejects the myth. Then he punctures the balloon. He flips the bottle. He makes everyone in the room laugh. He follows the one line that matters without a word. If the base is intact, so is the throne. As long as the throne is intact, storms are only weather. As a result, this Diddy tale is neither a trial synopsis nor a list of parties. It's a lesson in power dynamics, ownership versus optics, and how one individual can warn a million people about issues. And if the myth looms large again, he will do what he usually does: point to the problem while grinning. Put a purposeful halt to it. No jury, no soft landing, no handshakes, just a scoreboard. You can't take a screenshot. There are no lights on. The bus doors shut. Next city. There is a lot of noise from the base. The strategy is, to put it mildly, petty. Additionally, the mogul battle is still profitable since the public keeps correcting the optics. One biting quote at a time.